Hi there. Welcome to TheatreHub. My name's David. I'm going to give you a little introduction to the way the system works. We've created a temporary, sort of imaginary theater group for us to play with here. So I'm going to log in using that account, the administrator account on that theater group. We'll call it admin user 1. There's a little setup password already. And okay, so we're in now at what would be the home page for this administrator user of a theater group that we're calling the Acme Theater Group. And what the administrator and every user will see when they first arrive is a little dashboard that shows, in this case, not a lot of activity because we've got a brand new company here that doesn't have a lot of things going on in it yet. But we'll show you how to start to populate that. As we add events, they'll show up here. As we add messages, they'll show up here. The main navigation screen is on the left. That will take us through the different parts of the program between getting back to the dashboard here. When we get to recording lines, we'll go there. When we want to look at our prompt book and cues, we'll look there. But much of the activity happens here in the channels, the theater channels. There are group channels for the entire company. That's where one can chat with basically everybody in the company. So that's a wide open public chat. So everything posted here can be seen by everybody. We can also share files between the group and post some text-based notes. We'll look at those features in a little bit. And then we also have show-specific chats that will appear here as we create them, including calendars and actual chat channels. And we can also have private channels between individuals or small groups. So that's all accessed through that left menu. And on the right-hand menu, this is where we get to more system-related things, where we can change our profile information. I can change, my picture and also information about myself. And because I'm an administrator, I can also change things about the company itself, the company profile, the users that are involved in it, and what shows we have to offer. So let's go first into the users menu just so that we can see that at the moment in our little company we have a few pretend users that we've added here. And if I'd like to add another as an administrator, if I want to do such a thing, there's a simple link to add a new user here. I can fill out their user details and click create. I can also, if I wanted to do so, bulk import a bunch of users. I can grab some test data and paste it in there. For example, I think I have some here. Let me just grab that. And as long as I follow the username, first name, last name, email, and password format, I should be able to import those user records nice and easily. And there we go. It tells me I've got a bunch of new users that have been imported. And if I go look at my users list now, I should see, yes, now I have some more people who are involved. So as an administrator, we could do that. Or it's thoroughly possible for somebody to arrive at the site, and I'm now in a blank, non-logged in state here, and I can register for the site. I get to choose which organization do I want to belong to, so I'm going to choose the Acme Theater Group. Organizations have an access code that they're given when we set them up in the first place. The access code for this one is all the world. And we can create a user account just like this. So this will be, I don't know, we'll say Jim Jimson is going to be our new user. Whoops, Jim Jimson, and it's Jim at jim.com. And we'll give Jim a password and create a new user. So now Jim is in. Welcome, Jim, it says. And Jim has been added to the Everyone group and can see the messages that have been posted so far by new member 1 before. And Jim can say, hi back, and send a message, and it arrives so that everybody can see it. So there we go. If I'm back in my user manager, admin user channel, I can see the messages that everybody's posting, and similarly I can send messages. So in terms of our user settings, that's fairly straightforward. Let me get back to my admin channel here. Okay, there we are. So the other thing we can do as an administrator is we can set up and manage shows. So much of what we'll be doing, obviously, in this program is based around running a particular show or more than one show. There's an option to create a new show, so we could create, I don't know, we're going to do Cabaret next. Create the name of a show, and after you've created it, you can invite members to that show. I'm in there already because I'm the one who created it. But let's go back and work on the other show that I've kind of got set up already, which is Clue. And we can see that Clue, again, only has the one member in it already. So let's invite from our company folks who we'd like to be a part of it. We'll, of course, invite Jim and David, new user, and in fact, we could, invite a whole bunch of folks to that show. But maybe not everybody in our company is involved in the show. At this point, it doesn't say what they're doing. That comes next. But the show, we can set up what it's called, give it an icon if we'd like, invite members to it, and then we can assign roles for those members. So let's do a little bit of that first. So the role of, or the play Clue, here let's get rid of this tag actually, we're not going to use chorus here. And let's change this one so that it's not lead, but rather let's give them actual characters' names. So Wadsworth is a character, and we'll say that David is playing that character. Company, so we've got three different types of tags. There are group tags, there are roles, and there are scenes. Groups can be used for just about anything. So I've got one tag in here already by default called company, where we would say everybody's part of the company. Groups, again, could be, let's say there's one called, I don't know, production staff. And we'll save that. And now that we have staff, we'll say that, admin and Cedric and Freeland, those are parts of our staff group. I could make another group called cast. Maybe that's everybody else. And, assign those other folks to it. Okay. Groups, as I say, don't have to be, official divisions like that. We could make groups just about anything and assign people we would like. The reason we have these tags for groups, roles, and scenes, they come in handy when we're doing our scheduling, which we'll do next. So those are some groups. Let's do a couple other roles here. So we've got Yvette is another role. And while you're creating tags, you can, of course, also make them different colors. There we go. Yvette will be yellow. And if you'd like to pick an icon, you can, I don't know, let's go person. We'll make Yvette that icon. There you go. Save and return. And it doesn't, in fact, change the tag at all. It just gives it a little bit extra. So who's going to be Yvette? We'll make Juana the Yvette tag, and we'll go from there. Let's add one more rule, just so we got it. Let's get Cook is in the first scene there, and Cook will make blue, and we'll just leave it as the default icon. Well, maybe we could do something like food. I don't know. Have some fun there. There we go. Okay. So I've got a group, I've got a role, and we also have, like I say, scene tags. And those are handy for if we would like to define a group of folks who are, let's say, in scene 1 or prologue or whatever else we'd like to call it. And we'll say who all is in that scene. Oh, I got the knife and fork in there. We'll get those people involved in that. Let me actually change the knife and fork. That's a bit silly. Let's go book. There, that's a nice little icon for a scene. Good. Save and return. So now we have scene 1, which has David, Kim, and Freeland involved in it, apparently. And I could add scene 2 and scene 3 and so forth. Again, all of this will become a little bit clearer when we start scheduling things, but you can define as many tags and as many groupings of your cast as you'd like. Okay, that was all the editing show stuff. So now let's go back and see how we can actually use this in our chatting. Nope, now we can see that I've got Cabaret added as a show. But let's go into the Clue cast chat. Once we're in a channel, we can communicate with everybody else. I can say, hello, cast. And just like any other messaging program that comes up. Now, the important thing to know about channels, show channels that is that not everybody is involved in them. You have to decide as the administrator who gets to be in which channel. In fact, as the owner of the show, you get to decide. Because you created the show, you get to decide which members of our company are in this show. Okay, so from the folks that I've added to the show, right, the cast members, note it's not all of our company users, it's just the users who are a part of the show. They get to be added to this particular channel because I've decided I want them to be in the cast chat channel. Although maybe I decide, you know what, this is a cast chat channel and not the everyone channel, so I'm going to take out a couple other folks. I'll leave admin in just because it's going to take me out if I don't do that. But let's say we take a couple of these folks out of that channel. All right, so you get to decide as an administrator who's part of this chat and who sees the messages and who sees the files and who sees the notes that go with them. I don't think I probably need to spend too much time on files and notes. It's fairly straightforward. You can upload a given file or image. If I have anything that we can upload here, sure. So you can upload pictures or PDFs or documents or videos, whatever else you'd like. And notes are similarly nice and easy. This is a note. And, you know, greater. So everyone, here's some pointers. And we can go ahead and add some information as we go along. Okay, so text notes that are saved and viewable by everybody in this group, files that are viewable by everybody in this group, and chat messages that are viewable by everybody in this group. If I'd like to add new channels, so maybe within Clue, my production, I also want a channel that's just for the production staff to talk, or just for the set designers, or just the technicians or something. Because I'm the owner of the show, I can add one that we'll just call, let's say, production. And now in the Clue production channel, again, I can decide who are going to be the members of this channel. And let's make it more restrictive. Save and return. So now we just have the 3 of us in this particular channel. Hi, folks. Okay. So between the messaging in a show and the messaging amongst the whole company, you can be pretty targeted about who you want to speak to. If there's a case where you'd really just like to send a message to one person or 2 people and you don't want it to be public per se, every user has the ability to add private channels to their own account. So I'm going to send a message just to Dave, or create a channel rather that I've called Dave. We could call the channel whatever we want. I can call it private chat or some message or whatnot. And I'll see if I can find, where's my David account here? Good. I'll save and return that. And now, so this is a channel that just has me and David in it. Hi, David. And if David were to log in, he would see that same thing. Okay. I think we're good there. Let's go look at calendars, because this is where a lot of the action happens. In the calendar, it's fairly standard insofar as you can move forward and backward and select for the dates. I have nothing happening yet. Let's say that on today we want an event, some kind of, let's say, a meeting. Events have dates and they have a name. They also have parts. There might be several parts to an event. You can name this part if you want, but the parts get times. So let's say this meeting goes from 5 until 6, and then I get to decide who's coming to this meeting. I can invite a group of people, I can invite individual people, or I can invite them by role or by scene. So for example, if I happen to know this is a meeting that's just for the staff, this is where those tags become critical. I don't need to go through and select each person. I can just select the group called staff, and that will assign all the individual people who need to show up at that meeting. Now, because I happen to be part of the staff group, when I assign those tags, it's showing up yellow for me. That means I'm called. Let's add another event on this day. We'll just say this is I don't know, a gathering of some kind. And in this particular thing, it's happening a little bit later in the day, from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. And who's called for this thing? This is just Kendrick, Freeland, and David are called. Sure. And if I save that, I should see that, yep, the event is there, and it shows me who's called individually, but it doesn't show up yellow for me. Let's put it on another day, just so we can see the point here. Let's switch it to the 12th and save that. Now on my calendar, I see there's a dot on the 12th for that gathering, but it's not highlighted yellow, which means I'm not involved in it. Now that we've added a couple events, I just want to show you that also on the dashboard, when we first log in, I get to see a couple things. We've got some messages in groups that I'm a part of, and we've got new events, specifically one that's happening today and then another one that's happening next week. And all of these are links, so I can click on that and get right to what the details of this event is. Let's add a little bit more in terms of details. Let's make this meeting, instead of a meeting, let's make it a rehearsal. And the first part of the rehearsal is going to be review scene 1. And so forget about staff here. Instead, we'll invite just the folks from scene 1. And then I'm going to add another part to this rehearsal, which will start at 6 and go till 7. And we'll call this, what do we have? Special dance, whatever, choreo. And we can add some notes to that. Bring your shoes. And who are we going to call to this one? This will be, let's say this will be everybody, whole cast. And we'll save that. So now I've got something different going on here. I see a rehearsal that has part 1, a review of scene 1, and the folks from scene 1 will be called, which I'm not a part of, and special choreo, dance choreo, bring your shoes, cast, which I'm also not a part of, the way I built those groups. Okay, but we can see that there. If for some reason we also wanted to add, if I wanted to add myself to, let's add, where am I? Well, I'm not in this list. To the, oh, now I've got cast and staff. And let's bring the whole company are going to dance. And we'll save that. Then I should show up. There we go. So you can see that you can make the calls fairly specific, or use the groupings, use the tags. And when you do, everybody who is needed for a particular event will get notified by it on the day of by an email, and they will also be able to see that on the calendar as a highlighted event. So I theoretically only need to pay attention to those yellow events. Okay, I think that's a pretty good start. I'm going to stop this video there and post it, and then I'll do some more special videos for some of the additional features about the scene recording and prompt book. Hope that gives you a good intro, and hope you like the program.